What is up, everybody? I'm George Massey. So last night, 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After Season 7, Episode 15 is aired. So we checked in with Bilal and Shaeeda, who are on the tail end of their New York trip. Now, as you guys know, this trip has been crazy because Utrus was introduced to Bilal for the first time, and Utrus is very surprised at the dynamic of this relationship. She's surprised at the controlling nature. She's surprised that Bilal doesn't take Shaeeda's feelings into consideration. And all of us are at home saying, yes, we know. We've been watching this for multiple seasons. We know exactly what this situation is. The only person who seems to not be bothered by the situation is Shaeeda. So we watched last night as Bilal decides to distract Shaeeda from what she really wants, a baby, by taking her on a helicopter ride over New York. Now, don't get me wrong, taking someone on a helicopter ride over New York, especially someone who's never been to New York, is a good distraction, and it is possibly a good way to make them forget what's going on in their mind. But Shaeeda has a one-track mind. So even when she's up in the air looking at New York and looking at the Statue of Liberty from so high up, the only thing going through her head is, when exactly am I going to get the baby that I deserve? So I do think that Bilal is partially at fault for this awkward conversation, because there was no car service waiting for them when they landed from the helicopter ride in New York City, and they had a long time to sit and wait for that car to show up. And that's when Shaeeda said, you know what? I'm going to take this moment and I'm going to ruin it, and I'm going to make sure that it's most uncomfortable for you until I get what I want. And she actually gave Bilal a ultimatum. She said, I'm going to give you up to 9 months to give me a child. And if that can't be, I'm going to threaten you with ending this relationship. Now, I actually applaud her for doing that. But at the same time, let's keep in mind, Bilal is the one who made sure that a prenuptial agreement was in place. So if Shaeeda was to walk away from this marriage, the only person who will suffer is Shaeeda. She will walk away from this marriage basically homeless and with nothing, and Bilal will be completely unscathed, because that was the entire purpose of a prenuptial agreement. He wanted to make sure that Shaeeda had no entitlement to anything that he has or anything that he had prior to entering his life. So if she decides to walk away from the relationship in 9 months, Bilal will actually be exactly where he started, and Shaeeda will be in America with not very much to show for it. No yoga studio, no child, and no husband. So I don't know if that is actually the best plan of action. Threatening to leave someone sometimes can put a fire under them and maybe make them change their mind. But in this situation, I do feel like Bilal has made up his mind. There will be no more children. At this point, I feel like Bilal is simply waiting for Shaida's biological clock to just run out of time. He just keeps saying, not right now, not right now. And at 43 years old, when exactly does Bilal think will be a good time to have more children? Even though I know in the back of my mind, he knows that there won't be a good time because he doesn't want any more children. Shaeeda is the only one who seems to not get that point. So unfortunately, we're back on this cat and mouse game of, I want a baby, I don't want a baby, I want a baby, I don't want a baby. And we're just stuck on this broken record. Is she ever going to get pregnant? Is the 9 month ultimatum going to pay off? Is she really going to get what she wants? I don't think so, guys. What do you guys think? All right, guys, I'm George Massey. Make sure to follow me on all social media platforms at George Massey and at georgemassey.com for all your 90 Day Fiancé news and updates.